Hello, thanks for joining me, astrologer Patrick Arundell, for your April monthly horoscope for the Sun or the Ascendant. If you've yet to subscribe to our channel, we'd be delighted if you did so now. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. If you've got some big things going on in your life and you'd like some expert guidance, why not check out my one-to-one testimonials by seeing the link below. It's one of the most enriching parts of my work, working in this way. If you'd like to ascend above your zodiac sign in an affordable way and find out more about what really makes you tick, please check out my personal horoscope reports. There's a special offer on a year's forecast and also a character analysis, 30% off. Please see the link below. Hello Virgo, and welcome to your in-depth horoscope forecast for April. The month begins with the Sun and Venus in the deep and passionate 8th house of your situation. This can be very much to do with the things that really engage us. So that can be someone we're very connected to at an emotional or even a physical level. It can be where we're thinking in more practical terms about our longer term financial resources. Can be about business or entrepreneurship. Most of all, the 8th house where the Sun and Venus is about transformation. Now they're going to be joined by your ruler, Mercury, on the 4th. Now Mercury, over the previous 3 weeks, had been in the sector of relating for you, and that had been a good journey in the sense that it gave you the opportunity to hear what others had to say, exchange ideas. But I think as this transition on the 4th occurs, you're less concerned by what people are saying and more about what they're really meaning. Because it doesn't follow that what we're told is necessarily exactly where people are truly coming from. And I think you're going to have a gift of just understanding where the nuances of a situation lay. And that can see you doing some deep research, investigating things. If you enjoy murder mysteries, or you're very much into the more occult side of divination, those are areas that can also all come to life with this collection of energy in the 8th house. But Mars, the planet of drive and passion and our desire to be heard, is in a very prominent part of your situation from day 1 through to day 22. And that can see you much more assertive. And if you feel that there are things that need to be said and you need to show leadership, you need to be a bit more, if need be, a bit more inclined to show your elbows, to let people know that you're around, then Mars will certainly push you to do that. But Mars is in a very delicate relationship with Neptune in your sector of relating from the 4th through to the 14th. And when it comes to work, a conversation you have with someone across that period of 10 days may be a little bit less clear than you would like. And even you, who's got great powers of discrimination and really can understand about focusing on the details so that you can put together the big picture, I think just be aware that someone may tell you something that they think you want to hear. They may try to sell you something that's not properly described. There is the potential with Mars and Neptune in a right angle for deception and trickery. Just be conscious of that. But it's also true that in the first 10 days of this month, Venus in that passionate 8th house, which can be good, very good for joint finances or even intimacy, is actually forging an inspired link with Mars in that very dominant, proud and confident part of your horoscope. So if there is somebody that you're interested in romantically, if you take the lead with Mars's help and you have an instinct that comes from the 8th house that this person really could be the right type of person for you to bond with, then it could be a very romantic, even hot period for you in this first tranche of the month. But then on the 12th we have a new moon, and this new moon in Aries would ordinarily give you an opportunity to really embrace this whole 8th house dimension in a much more energetic way. And you can still do that, but this is forging a right angle to Pluto. And Pluto's in your sector of personal expression and the area of pleasures, the 5th house. It is possible that this new moon could throw up a situation where you're powerfully drawn to someone who's got a magnetic persona, but this person might not necessarily be very good for you. Or there could be a situation that you're already involved in where battles of will can come more to the fore. The 5th house is the arena of jealousy, control issues, manipulation, all this kind of stuff. And of course Pluto is maybe the tiniest planet of the zodiac, but it's also very influential. So the new moon does give you an opportunity to bond and invest in the right situations with the right people, but I think there needs to be a clarity to avoid politics creeping in. And this is emphasised even more in week 2 when Venus is in a right angle with Pluto. And when these two are in an 8th harmonic, square, conjunction or opposition, here too you can get the potential for leverage. So somebody can seem absolutely, totally alluring, and you can find your pulse really racing, but they may potentially just want to use you, or someone can offer a business deal that seems to absolutely stack up wonderfully well, but actually it's more about what they gain from it rather than what they give to it. So I'm not saying good things aren't possible, but just be aware of the politics is the theme right at the heart of this month. But then on the 14th, Venus moves into the sign of Taurus, which of course shares your Earth triplicity. And also in weeks 2 and 3, the Sun and Mars get together in an extremely powerful way. And if you're very clear about how you want to go forwards with a business venture, anything to do with property, or you're somebody who does want to investigate being much more of your own boss, you can show some really fantastic examples of dynamism, determination, and desire across those 2 weeks. But it is then the case that on the 19th, the Sun travels to join up with Venus and Uranus in the sign of Taurus, and on the same day, your ruler Mercury moves with the Sun. So, in the last 10 days of April, we have Venus, the Sun, and Mercury all combining with the electric but sometimes disruptive energies of Uranus. And if you think back since the middle of May 2018 through to middle of November 18, from March the 7th, 19, I think it's possible that you have become more restless. You have been thinking, is your world a bit too pinned in and restrictive? And that's become even more the case this year, as we have the planets in your 6th house of obligation and commitments and sacrifice clashing with those planets in the 9th house of freedom. So your desire for freedom is really turned up to max in the last 10 days of this month, and that could see you physically move in, if you're able to, in the particular state, country, continent that you live in. Travel would really appeal, it would really call out to you. And you may want to do it in quite a spontaneous way, so it may not even be particularly planned. There may be an easing of the lockdown. You may literally go online, grab yourself some tickets and off you go, because the more spontaneous and the more you can live in the moment, be adventurous, freedom loving, the more you're going to love it as this month comes to a close. And also on the 23rd, Mars moves on from your sector of ambition and into your sector of friendship, sociability and individuality in a way. And so for the following 6 weeks, if you find yourself hanging out with different people, having conversations, all sorts of conversations that widen your horizons, you can find this last phase of the month probably the most exciting 10 days of the whole year so far, because I don't think 2021 has been easy. And of course, there is going to continue to be a bit of a clash between your desire to be a free spirit, Uranus, and that part of you that likes to be a good egg, Saturn. That's going on for the first half of the year and the last 5 weeks as a backdrop. But above that, there is this more restless side of your nature that comes in. Now, on the back of the full moon, the very passionate Scorpio full moon of the 27th, you could be quite, frank in how you feel about things. You could have a conversation with someone who may not want to hear what you've got to say, particularly if they prefer you to keep things as they are or how they have been. The status quo might suit someone you're involved with much more than it suits you. And even if you're someone who's been very much welded to routine and being very disciplined and being very obligated to others, you yourself are going to be excited by just how much you're kicking up your heels and doing things in a much more razzle-dazzle way. So you're about to show some sides of your nature which can delight you, surprise you, as I say, excite you, but also perhaps exasperate some people if they feel that you're being too provocative. You're throwing the proverbial baby out with the bathwater, because for you just want to break out. And even if you are that incredibly reliable Virgo, which you often are, I think just having some change of scene, some change of routine will be so cathartic for you. And as you end this month, even if there are a few tiffs or scrapes, or even the odd argument, at least you'll be ventilating your need to live in the present. And I think that's going to make you feel really alive. It's been a pleasure being with you. Stay safe and goodbye.